Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Kind of thinking out loud on the way home. Usually I do this around 3:15. Leaving early today. I've got classes tonight. I got a class that starts at 5 o'clock. And then a couple more classes that start on Thursday. So I can get to. I got an extra hour to get ready for class. I have to take 5 classes for, you know, being an educator, being a teacher. You got to get these classes every year out of the way. So I'm trying to get those done. Anyway, hope today's going good for you. Been an interesting Tuesday. Weird conversations today, and everybody's freaking out over from the time I got into work to the time I left. All I hear about people are talking about this TV where the Trump's going to be on TV tonight. That's all I'm getting a little tired of hearing about it, but I'm kind of curious now. And now I really kind of want to tune in. I wasn't going to tune in and watch it, but I might do it tonight and watch a little bit of it. Who knows? I just my class starts at 5. I don't know what time he's going to be on, but be nice to get home a little early. Maybe take a nap. I don't know. So hopefully your day's going good. I got a whole lot of exciting things. I've read a ton of stuff in the news today. There's nothing of substance, nothing that really stuck with me. You know, other than this person died, this person's birthday. You know, same old stuff. Nothing really eye-opening. So kind of hoping that by the time I get home, I can get everything done that I need to get done. I'm gonna make a stop. I think I'm gonna stop and grab a bucket of chicken tonight for dinner. You know, just the wings, chicken wings. I love chicken wings. That's me. Oh yeah. So I've been on this since starting the first, I did a weigh-in. I weighed in at 306, 303, 306. I can't remember what it was, but I was over 300. That's all I remember. I was over 300. I did my weigh-in, you know, on Monday. I was at 280, 289. So I'm going down. I'm going in the right direction. There's so many different diets out there. I was going to do the keto diet, but I know what works for me, and I really, the Atkins is not a diet. Everybody likes to say, "Oh, I'm on the Atkins diet." Atkins is not a diet. It's change a lifestyle. You're kind of just changing your lifestyle where you're not having the things that are bad for you, all the sugars, all the carbs. So that's kind of what I decided to do. I'm going to go ahead and go back on that because I really enjoyed it. I was eating all the time. I would eat 5-6 meals a day because you have to. You're not supposed to wait and not eat. You're supposed to eat. And you're supposed to eat every couple hours. So your metabolism speeds up and it gets used to eating. Doesn't think it's starving. So I've been doing that, and one of the things I do, I will go get a bucket of chicken because I can get like 40 chicken wings in a bucket. And I'll go ahead and get a bucket of chicken, throw it all together, and I'll eat that all night long. You know, even take some of it, like today I took some for lunch, and I can eat chicken almost every day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Grab some wings. And the best thing about it, the store I get my chicken from, you know, I usually get the lemon pepper wings, or I get Cajun. Occasionally I just get the regular roasted wings, but when I get the bucket together, they give you a free 2-liter of Mountain Dew. How can you beat that? 40 plus wings, a 2-liter of Mountain Dew, all for like $9.99, $10. You can't get that anywhere. So I'll go ahead and do that tonight. That way I'm not suffering without my caffeine and got something decent to eat. So I'm trying to think what we were talking about this morning. There was something we just touched on and it's kind of interesting. For the life of me, I can't remember what it was. I did look at I was looking at houses today because I either want to have another house built or I want to, I'll buy one that's already built. But the last house I had, we had built, and I really enjoyed the experience. So I was thinking if I move from Florida to Arizona, which is kind of what I'm hoping to do in the near future, within the next year or so, I think I'm going to have another house built. But I will tell you, houses are not cheap today. Definitely have something to say about that. Oh, man. I think if there's just nothing exciting. We did get some inmates back today. I think we got they said our first allotment of 100 inmates came in. I've seen them briefly. They're not going to be seeing me until next week sometime around the 14th of the month. But right now, they're just getting everybody organized and situated. So I'm kind of shocked that they did it because I didn't think the prison was ready. But apparently they don't care. Because every day without inmates is a day they're losing money. So security and safety be damned, we're going to go ahead and get inmates back in so they can make some money. Whatever. I will tell you, CES, for those of you that don't know, every year in Vegas we have a consumer electronics show called CES. And you usually get the big manufacturers like Apple and HP and Samsung and anybody that's really in the electronics industry. It's a huge show they have in Vegas. And last year and the year before, I was planning on go every year. I plan on flying out there and going to to play again in the World Series of Poker or to go to CES. But every year something comes up where I can't go. And this year I was kind of bummed. But I'll kind of keep my eye out and watch the YouTube and watch Twitch. I know there's a lot of people that are going. And one of the guys that I watch a lot, Barnacles, I know he's said he's going out there, so I'm sure he'll have a great stream about it. So keep my eye open there. We had I don't know if I told you guys, we had a run-in yesterday we've had as with a lot of the houses after this hurricane, everybody's had damage to their house, and you got to rely on these contractors to come out and work on your house and take a look and give you estimates. We had a guy came out, talked a great game, really kind of instilled a lot of confidence that they were competent, they were a good company and everything. And he says, this is before the New Year's. He said, well, we're not going to be out on New Year's Day, but the day after the New Year, we'll be here and we're going to go up on the roof and we're going to secure the roof. We're going to make sure, we get a tarp up there, do whatever we need to make sure there's no leaks. Which is exactly what we wanted to hear. Excellent. Well, guess what happens? Yeah. After the first of the year, that day comes and goes. So we're thinking, well, maybe he meant the day after that. Well, the next day after that, nobody comes out. So finally, we make a couple phone calls, and we have a friend of ours, she makes a call to him, and he says, oh yeah, my roofing guy will be there on tomorrow. He will be there tomorrow. He doesn't show up again. So now I make a call and I say, look, I says, you know, you said you're going to be out on this day, and you said you're going to be out on this day, and this was said, and nothing happens. And this is funny, because this guy is like, whoa, wait a minute, you know, we're not going to get off with attitude, we're not doing this. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I says, I got any attitude. I says, I'm just telling you, I expected a certain level of professionalism and downright courtesy if you couldn't make it to call. And he says, well, it's the first I heard that he didn't come out and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I'm thinking to myself, well, obviously you're not on top of your crew. You're not following up. You're not getting, you don't know what's going on. I didn't say that. I'm just thinking it, you know. So I tell him, look, you know, courtesy's all I ask. If you can't make it, I'll work with you. Just call me. No big deal. But when you don't call me after you promise you're going to show up day after day, I get pissed. So, he says, oh, okay, well, we'll definitely we'll be there to, you know, we'll make something work. Well, I want to tell you right now, never been so pissed in all my life. I'm just like, I don't like being told one thing and then have you not follow through with it. It's just it's a pet peeve of mine. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that when it does happen, you know, you just gotta be courteous and call. He says, well, let me tell you how this works. I got 70 jobs and 30 guys out there working. So when I walked into your house, you became 71. And I said, I don't care if I'm 101. I says, if you make a promise to me that you're going to be here a certain date and time, you show up or you call me. Because if I end up sitting here and waiting for you all day and you don't show up, you know I'm going to be pissed. And if you don't want me to bill you for my wasted hours when I take a day off work to be here, then your ass needs to be here. You know, it's just, oh yeah. And I was not a happy camper that day, but we'll see how it works. I look at it this way. If he treats all his customers the way he's treated me, they're going to drop off, and I'll move up to 70, 60, 50, 40, 30 really quick. Because nobody, you know, even though we're in a situation where there was very few contractors and a ton of work to be done, well, now, you know, people don't really care. They're getting their insurance checks. It is what it is. And now there's even becoming more contractors available. So, you know, it's just one of those things about sometimes it's very hard to understand people sometimes. How can they be inconsiderate? But that's sometimes how people are, I guess. You know, but I can tell you, if I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to do something, I'm going to be there and I'm going to do something. I don't play that game. God, if I can stay awake for a couple more hours, or at least another hour. I don't know what it is. Of course I do. I know it's not sleeping, but I want to be able to get home and get all my stuff done. I still got a lot of things to get ready for this class. Gotta download the application, gotta fill it all out, get it all submitted. Well, if you were with me on the ride in this morning, you saw all the fog that we had. Yeah, shortly after getting to work and the sun coming up, all that burned off pretty quick. But, yeah, I heard a lot of people talking about it this morning. They thought for sure they were going to be in an accident. And I said, yeah, one's just waiting to happen. That fog was something terrible. But now, this is the weather I enjoyed. Now it's probably 70 degrees out, sunshine, a little bit of clouds, but this place is way outside it's so hard for me to follow the temperature here in the winter. 30 degrees, 40, 60, 20, all over the place. Oh, God. I hope you guys are having a better day than I am. I had so much energy up to lunch. Up to lunchtime, I was ready to rock and roll and just going. And then it just got so boring. I mean, that's the worst thing for me. As long as I'm busy and I'm thinking and I'm doing things, I'm good to go. I can go till 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I can go forever as long as I'm busy. As soon as things taper off and it gets slow, I get tired. And I'm just like, and then I don't even want to be there. And that was kind of what happened after 12:30. After it kind of hit a lull, got boring, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to go home and get ready for this class because I'll be there for a couple hours tonight, probably going through participating in the class. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain. It's kind of like, it's like sex. When you get together with that other person and you got so much energy, your heart is pounding, it's racing, and 3-4 hours will go by, and I mean, you'll be waking up and going, wow. And you look at the time and you realize you just fell asleep like an hour ago, and you've been together for like 5 hours. All that adrenaline, all that passion, all that, it gets your heart racing, and you got all that energy. And I mean, how many times, think about how many times it's happened to you. There's been times like, when literally the sun has just gone down at 7 o'clock, and the next thing you know, you start playing around, and all of a sudden you look at it is midnight. And you're like, wow, from 7 to midnight, where did the time go? And then you're like, because you had so much energy, it just flew by. And that's the kind of days I love. I love the days that just fly by. You got all this energy, and you can just make everything last and get a lot done, a lot accomplished. But after it's all over, and when you start winding down, that's when all of a sudden you're like, I just want to go to sleep. You're like, okay, that was fun. Now it's time for sleep. And the worst place to have that feeling is when you're driving an automobile. Whenever you feel like you want to sleep and you're driving, bad. Driving while sleeping equals bad. No, don't drive while sleeping. Yeah. I told my doctor once, I called her, or I actually sent her an email. I said, hey, give me some Ambien or something to help me sleep. And she says, well, I don't want to prescribe you anything without seeing you, which is understandable. And I said, all right. I said, no problem. I said, I just really hate the fact that I'm sleeping in traffic. And she goes, what? You're sleeping in traffic? I'm like, yeah. I said, I mean, I'll nod off just for a second at a stop sign or a stoplight. I said, and my head will go down, and I'll wake up, and it'll be like 30 seconds or 60 seconds later. And she's like, you're doing that now? I says, yeah. She goes, well, don't. I'm like, I needed to be told don't. I said, well, I'm not trying to. It's just I'm so tired. That's why I was hoping it's, Ambien or some kind of a sleeping. So, next thing I know, I get this device in the mail from this clinic that my doctors sent off for it and sent to the VA, and it's this thing you have to wear while you sleep. You got to take these little things, put them up your nose, and put all these wires into this thing, wear it on your, actually mine was wore on my arm, and all these little stickers on your chest. It's for what they call a sleep study. And I said, man, you got to be kidding me. So I had to sit there, put all these attachments over my body, stick these tubes up my nose, and I had to try and sleep with that. So now I'm kind of curious to see what the results were, if they got them in yet. Oh, because I know I didn't get to sleep that night. Oh. But that's one thing I will say about the VA doctors. Are kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you get one that will really go out of their way for you. Other times you get one that are very reserved or apprehensive. You know, I'm sure they have a lot of people that are drug seekers that, you know, are addicted or whatever, and they got to be really careful. But I'm okay with that. I never understood drugs, you know that? Even growing up in school, I had friends of mine that would smoke pot, or they would do drugs. I had one of the guys that I really looked up to. I mean, really looked up to, thought he was a great guy. And I sat there one day and watched him do coke. And he offered, hey, you want to do a line? I'm not going to charge you. I said, no, I'm good. I lost that moment, that one instant, I lost all respect for him, never hung out with him again. Yeah, just absolutely never got the idea, the understanding of drugs. To take anything that would put me outside of my mental state, and, you know, I just never got it. And the fact that, you know, there's the addiction factor in there, you can become addicted. Never got it. You know, it's the same way with alcohol. Consuming too much alcohol to the point where you have to go into rehab. I mean, how pathetic is that? To say, I'm drinking too much, so I have to go so they can help me not drink too much. Poor self-control. Crazy world sometimes. Doesn't make sense to me all the time. I try to wrap my head around it sometimes and make sense out of it. You know, drugs just have never been the answer. Now I can understand it if you just got a wisdom teeth pulled or whatever, and pain medicine is worn off. I can understand it. Anything else? No. Not at all. You guys can see that there's a huge, giant pelican. First time I've ever seen a pelican other than in pictures was when I got out here. They're just ginormous. Huge wingspans, very, very large birds. Almost there, a little bit longer. Yeah, sorry this afternoon drive wasn't quite, I mean, I didn't have very many things this morning that really, or even this afternoon, that really took me outside of what I was doing. All day long, all I've done is take these computers and re-image them. I'm trying to get them on the network tomorrow. Just one troubleshooting thing after another. That's kind of why I hate doing what I do sometimes, because people would just leave well enough alone, it works, you know. But they never do. Let me get over here. I was talking to one of the ladies at work. She's married. Her husband is like 12 years older than she is. My wife is 12 years older than I am. You know, and then another one of the girls I worked with, her husband is 14 years older than she is. And I'm thinking to myself, why is it, why would you marry someone older? If you could have someone younger, why would you marry someone older? I asked myself that because, like, I married someone older than me, 12 years older than me, and the only answer I can come up with is, and you're going to laugh, but age doesn't matter. Now, before I get all these emails or people that light me up, let me phrase that into a way that's not creepy. Age doesn't matter within reason. I'm not saying, you know, if you're below a certain age, yeah, absolutely. But if you're 30 and she's 20, or you're 20 and she's 18 or 28, I mean, age, I think, is kind of irrelevant. It's if you guys connect, if there's a mutual connection, if you both feel the same way. Yeah, I just don't think age is really an issue. Never have. Never have thought it was an issue. My parents thought it was an issue. I remember bringing my wife home for the first time. I think probably everybody I knew, everybody that was in my family or that was, you know, a friend of my family, almost everybody thought it would fail. They thought she was 12 years older than I was, it'll never last, and there must be, you know, she had some ulterior motive. Now, I look back and I think all those people that said those things are dead. Not by my hand, just they're dead. You know, my mom, my dad, you know, the people down the street. And I look at it and I think, well, and I'm still married to the same person they had an issue with. Call that karma. But I will say, there is some merit in the fact of dating around your same age. Because if I tried to date somebody that was 20 years younger than me, it just wouldn't work. I mean, number one, they've got to be able to keep up. They've got to be able to keep up, not just, you know, physically, but mentally they have to be quick. They've got to be well-versed, well-educated. So it's just not going to work, because if the only attraction was physical, that'll work for, you know, that'll work on the weekends, but alright, well, I'm coming up to my store. I'm going to go in and get my wings and my 2-liter. Go home. Now, I'm still going to do the 7 o'clock stream if I can. By then, I'm going to be well rested, ready for my class. I think will be over around, probably around 6 o'clock, 6:30 maybe. So I shouldn't have a problem hitting the stream on time. I'm going to do my best to be on time, 7 o'clock every night. If I fall either way a few minutes, bear with me, you know, be patient. So what store am I going to go to? I'm going to go to a store called Winn-Dixie. They don't have, I don't think they have Winn-Dixies in Arizona. This is like a purely southern store. Yeah, I see Winn-Dixies in the south. What's the Piggly Wiggly? That's funny. Piggly Wigglies, those are in the south. That's where, if you ever see that movie, what's it called? Driving Miss Daisy with Morgan Freeman. She gets in the car and she's driving like, you know, or she's walking. That's what it is. She's walking and Morgan Freeman is driving the car next to her. And she's like, "Oh, what do you want?" And he's like, "I'm trying to drive you to the store, Miss Daisy." And he was always taking him to, you know, Piggly Wiggly was a store in the south, so I got a chuckle out of that movie. It was a funny movie. Good movie. Alright guys, I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and grab some dinner. And I will see you guys at 7 if you make it. Love to see you online and chat for a while about whatever. Hopefully there's something exciting going on where you're at. Because there ain't nothing going on here except crazy people. And that's nothing new. So, hey, God must be in the front row. There we go. Alright guys, have a good night. We'll see you about 7. Take care.